Welcome to the top of the morning show with your girl TT from the D, where we rise in early to catch the birds that's getting ready to chirp, ladies and gentlemen. I am super excited. This morning is just going to be a super amazing morning because this is the takeover by CrystalP. She actually has a wonderful event that's coming up this coming Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. So if you haven't gotten your tickets, I don't know what you're waiting on. She darn near was sold out right before I launched this show. And so I believe at this point, and I'm going to clarify that with her, I think all the VIP are gone. Because you know how we like to do around here, ladies and gentlemen. We like to wait to the last minute, and then we trying to scurry and get those tickets, but not one of the events that's done by CrystalP, because they're always guaranteed to be sold out. And so I'm super excited this week because you're going to get to not only learn a little bit more about CrystalP as the days go by, because as the takeover does, as you've known for the last 3 weeks, they're on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And you're going to have a double dose of CrystalP because we're going to do a live tap-in Tuesday tomorrow night. She has a special friend she's bringing on. I won't let the cat out the bag, but it's definitely a tap-in Tuesday you do not want to miss. So without any further ado, I'd like to bring CrystalP to the building this morning to rise you up and make you shake and shine. Good morning, CrystalP.
Good morning, rise and shine. Get the crust out those eyes and off the side of your mouth and off your arm. If you're one of them people that sleep with your hand up under your head, I know you got that little residue on your wrist right there.
That'd be me. You talking about me. You talking about me. Oh my God.
We know how it go down when you had a good night's rest.
Yes. I just want to thank you firstly for taking over this show this week, blessing my podcast. You know, this is a new show we rolled out this year. And so when we have certain type of guests that have a lot going on, we love to extend the invitation to have them do a takeover. And I just thought, I remember before launching the show for this season, I kind of bounced the idea off of you. You actually were the second person I talked to about it. The first one was Swifty, and he thought it was a great idea. And I remember we were talking prior to going to rehearsal the following day. I said, I think that I want to give that platform opening for a guest that has a lot going on, where they can actually give the people an opportunity to know everything about them. It's hard to wrap everything and put everything into 1 hour. Yeah. So with this platform, I'm super excited, and I'm hoping that it will bless others as well as myself, because that's the goal.
Absolutely. And congratulations to you on your new morning show. You are always doing great works, and we appreciate it because it's always uplifting us entertainers and people in the community in general. And I appreciate you having me. And give Swift some love too. He always shows love to other entertainers and people in the D, and I so appreciate him. And then he just has a good spirit. Y'all, the two of y'all together, I just love it. I loved it.
Thank you. He's still jet setting. He's over there on that. I want to thank me. Let me correct myself. I don't want to get beat down. He's over there with Snoop Dogg and them doing that I Want to Thank Me tour. And I think, let me see, they are right now, they have a show, as a matter of fact, tonight in Amsterdam. So it's going to be amazing. And so, yeah, they're just living their best life, doing what they do over there. So I will give that love to him, because I know I'll be talking to him this evening. And I'm excited, and I thank you.
That's good. That's the best name for the tour. I want to thank you, because you're like, I want to thank you for this check. I want to thank you for this exposure. I want to thank you for this travel, because ain't nothing like being on a tour and getting to travel and see sights. I absolutely love it.
Well, you know what? I got to pause for a minute before we jump into the official interview, because you know what? In 2022. You just got to let the people know, because there's so many layers to you. But one thing I think you should add to your plethora of roles is being a travel guy, because you have been everywhere that when I tell you, when I look up and I see you get ready to board a plane, I already know it's not going to be like how I would do. Yeah, we on our way to New York. No. When you travel with Crystal, you need your passport. Okay, you need it ready to go because your flights is well over 5 hours wherever you going. So
listen, you are crazy.
I promise you, I've been vicariously living through you. I mean, you and done some things that people can only hope to do in their lifetime, and that's real talk.
It's so crazy because people, often come on my page and they see us traveling, and we do go to some amazing places. And people think I have tons of money. I'm like, listen, I am the ball on a budget queen. When I tell you I find deals and different things, it is not out of reach.
Okay.
Anybody can do, the average person. Listen, I'm probably considered low middle class if people saw my income. And people are like, you here. It's always a right time. And, it takes some work. From December 21 through December 22, I took 10 trips. And several of them, of course, were overseas, starting with Dubai, which is still one of my favorite places to go. But we were going to Dubai for a cruise. We had booked this trip back in, I want to say 19. And then the pandemic happened.
Right.
And so, of course, everybody's trips started canceling, but we didn't cancel because we knew we were going in December of 2020, or so we thought, or later that year in 21 rather. And so we just held on to the trip. But then the pandemic never went away. And my sister said, oh, I'm still going to Dubai. And I said, well, we can't take a cruise, not like this. She said, no, we'll just go to Dubai and get us a hotel and stay there. And I'm thinking like, okay, well, let's look up some rooms. Well, just so happened Dubai built 2 resorts. They had just completed building 2 resorts. So we stayed at one hotel, the hotel we originally had when we had booked our trip back in 2019. And then we booked at the resort. And my sister, she really is the tour guide person because she'll join Facebook groups. Like wherever you're going, she'll join that group. So it might be a Dubai for You group on Facebook or how to navigate Dubai. And she's going to go in these groups and she finds stuff and then she looks it up. And a lot of the places that we went to were not expensive at all. Like the Selfie Museum, which is one of my favorite places that I went to in Dubai, it was equivalent to $8 US dollars. Of course, their money, yes, their money is called dirhams, but it was equivalent to $8 US dollars. It was the best. Their Selfie Museum is top notch. There's about 350 3D paintings throughout 3 floors in the building. And they show you how to position your camera to do these selfies. And it makes people saw me, it looked like I was walking on a tightrope. It looked like I was drinking out of a water fountain. I was fighting an alligator.
Yes.
All that it was the most fun. And then we went to Miracle Gardens. I believe Miracle Gardens was equivalent to either 12 or 15 US dollars. They have, when I say billions of flowers in there, everything is made of flowers. They actually had a full-size United Emirates or airplane, like a big Boeing 747, all made of flowers. And so it was just amazing, a lot of amazing exhibits. Of course, people have heard about the Burj Khalifa, which is the tallest. It's either the tallest or the second tallest in the world structure. Now, it was expensive if you're trying to get inside and go to the top. That was a little costly, but to be outside, standing and taking a picture of it, and a lot of us don't even know how to use these phones that we have.
Yes.
Turn on your panoramic view on your smartphone, and I captured the whole building on the outside. I did get the opportunity to go on the inside, but I only went to the 24th and 25th floors. To go higher, it was just astronomical, and I wasn't going to spend that money. But it's attached to the Dubai Mall. And if anybody out there has ever been to Minneapolis, to the Mall of America, you're like blown away by Mall of America. They make the Dubai Mall makes Mall of America look like Section 8 housing. When I tell you, they have a full NHL size skating rink inside the mall. You're walking and shopping, you know, at all of those stores that people go to, and you look down and it's a full skating rink. They had waterfalls. They had people swimming with fish. They had a full-size Toyota Land Cruiser made of Legos inside the mall.
Shut the front door.
Yes. And so it doesn't cost you anything to go in the mall. You go in there like any other mall, but it was an amazing, amazing place. They have some of the best architecture in the world that you will ever see. And everything is so high end. It's like opulence. The police even drive Ferraris and
oh my God.
Yeah. Their cabs, their low end cabs, they drive. I can't think of the name of them, but their regular everyday cabs, like here you see I don't know, a Lincoln or a Chevy or a Ford Crown Vic. They drive Lexus. I think it's an ES300. Those are their cabs. Everybody is nothing to see a Rolls Royce there. Like here, you see a Rolls Royce, a Bentley, and more so when you're in the richer areas like your Bloomfield Hills and places like that, you see a little more high-end cars more often. But there, it is the norm. A Rolls Royce literally will come past you every 5 to 10 minutes. A Porsche, a Bentley, and they have tons of Rolls Royce trucks, which we don't see here often. There, it's like driving an Escalade. It's amazing there. It was one of my favorite trips, but it wasn't that expensive. And then we went to the UK. I found that trip up to the UK, round trip air and hotel was $11.30.
Stop.
11:30. Yeah, booked it on deltavacations.com. So a lot of the stuff we do is not out of reach, and 11:30 might sound like, you know, inexpensive, but if you even look at it overall, if you pay for your trip a year in advance, you're talking about less than $100 a month, and that's obtainable. People can do it. It's just how you spend your money. I tell people it's not that you can't do it. It's, do you want to make the sacrifice? Some of us drink, some of us smoke, some of us party, some of us have, you know, fancy homes, some of us have fancy cars. It's all in how you spend your money, but it is not out of reach if you want to do some of these things. Went to Mexico, went to Uruguay, went to Argentina, and then some home spots: Boston, LA, Vegas. Where else did I go? Florida, we had a really great time. So these things, you just got to be willing to kind of look up. Like I said, I go on delta.com and I'll scroll down and hit the vacations button and see what they had. They offered me a trip to Greece for $800. I couldn't get the time away at that time, but imagine being, and my sister, Greece is her favorite trip that she's gone on. She's been to Israel. My sister has gone to a lot of places that I haven't gone to. My daughter, she's been to Ghana. She's actually going back to Ghana. Both my oldest daughter went to Bali, Indonesia. She was feeding. Yeah, she fed a bear. The bear looked full size to me, but they said it was a baby. But the baby was taller than me, sitting on her lap. She's feeding the bear. She fed.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she watched the elephant. Just all kinds of. There's so much to see in the world. And I tell people, when you go outside of the United States, it really broadens your horizon. Of course, you get foods, different languages, but just seeing a different culture and being exposed to something different, it really just gives you an outlook. And then it just shows you how amazing God is. Because it's like, man, I'm 7,000, 10,000 miles away from home, and all this is going on. And it just really brought, you know, you learn about social studies and geography and things of that nature, but to actually go and fly and see different bodies of water, different land, be in a different continent. Like, okay, I'm still on Earth, but I'm 10,000 miles away from where I know, and where I live. It's amazing. It is so amazing.
I have to ask this question because I know the listeners are wondering. So when you say you went to deltavacations.com now, and you said like, okay, if the trip was 11, is it 1,100?
It was 1,100. So $1,130.
So do they have the option where you can actually pay monthly versus you have to give it all at one time?
Delta Vacations does have payment plans.
Wow.
And not only that, they accept, I think Delta has either Affirm or Klarna. So those are other, and with Affirm and Klarna, you can pay monthly.
Okay.
There's a lot. I have a Delta American Express card.
Okay.
So those have some benefits as well. But when you go on delta.com and you scroll down and click on the vacations tab, bar, or whatever, a lot of times, depending on how far out the trip is and the cost, you might be able to hold the trip for $50. You might be able to hold it, just put the deposit of $50 or deposit of $100, depending on what the trip is and where it's going and the date it's taking place.
Okay.
And then pay on it, or hold it and then pay it off, and they'll give you a date. So it's a lot of options. And then if you don't know, ask. If you don't book it through online, call the Delta Vacations number, their 1-800 number. Talk to a rep, because I'm going to Barcelona in...
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I'm going to Barcelona at the end of June.
Okay.
And I'm staying through July 9th. And finally, this will be my first cruise, so pray for me, because I wasn't really comfortable going on a ship yet, but I said we're going to do this. But I'm staying in Barcelona for a few days before I even head out on the cruise.
Wow. Oh, my God.
Yeah. So I'm staying a few days before and a couple days when I come back. But Delta was able to, why would you get a hotel and you're going to be on a boat? Right. They were able to get my hotel for the first few days. I'm going to be on the boat, and they were able to book the hotel the last couple days after I get back and still have it in the package.
Wow.
And sometimes your price will vary depending on what hotel. If you are a person that turns up and you want to stay at like the Waldorf Astoria or the, some of those top high-end hotels, it's one that starts with an R, and I can't get the name.
Ritz-Carlton?
The Ritz-Carlton. So if you're trying to stay there, the price will fluctuate up.
Right.
If you are just satisfied with a bed and a pillow, and you do something like Quality Inn or Comfort Inn or, Red with some of those types of hotels, then the price will go down a little bit. I typically need at least 4 stars, especially overseas, because their accommodations are a little different. I typically pick Marriott hotels, but I do stay at some other hotels with great ratings, because I do like having amenities. I like being able to go get a massage, but it doesn't always have to have that, because I can do that in the city or whatever. But I do like a certain brand of hotel. I have a minimum requirement. Like, minimum for me on the U.S. side, if I had to say, would be a Courtyard. I would stay at a Courtyard minimally.
Right.
But typically, I like my Renaissance hotels. I like the Westin, Hyatts, things like that. So you just pick your package and put it together. And I typically get a room by myself. I'm at an age, unless I'm going with my husband, I'm not sharing a room. I tell my friends, I'm like, look, y'all, we old enough. We should be able to fend for ourselves. Plus, you might, I don't want to offend nobody, but, You walk around butt naked in your room when you by yourself. You can't do that when you're in the room with other people. You might snore. I'm a snorer. I
I'm
ain't
a
even gonna
snorer
lie.
too. I ain't gonna front either. Ain't no
I
future in
will
front.
all day. So you probably don't want to share a room with me. I'm an early bird. I typically get up at the crack of dawn, but I'm a person that goes to bed usually earlier.
Oh,
So when
okay.
you're in a room by yourself, of course, it costs more when you have a single occupancy as opposed to double occupancy. But if
Right.
double occupancy is your thing, know you're going to save a couple of dollars. Now, my
Mm-hmm.
1130 was based on single occupancy.
Okay.
So you might have been able to get that trip for 9 or maybe even 8 and some change because of double
Nice.
occupancy. So I tell people, don't think that it's unattainable or out of the way, because we are just everyday working people. My sister works at the plant.
Mm-hmm.
My cousins, one is a nurse. I got a cousin that's retired. I got a cousin, she's a cook at the hospital. So we're just regular working people.
Absolutely.
She supervises the kitchen at one of the hospitals.
Okay.
And so here you have different, positions and jobs, all doing the same thing. And we love to travel. My family is very close knit.
Yes, y'all are.
Yeah, and I have cousins on both sides on these trips. So it's not just like my mother's side. I have cousins from my dad's side and cousins from my mom's side, and we travel as one family.
That's nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody can't do that. That's a whole nother podcast,
Oh
actually.
yeah, oh
That
yeah.
if I ever manifest that thing, I'll be reaching out to you to jump on board because that's a whole other thing. Yeah. But thank you for that breakdown. I mean, I know the
Yeah.
people is like, wow. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I promise you, you're going to always get a lot of gems and jewels from the guests that come on TT from the D for the morning show here. It gets your day started. Like if you were sipping on your cup of tea or your cup of coffee or somewhere in the world drinking on a mimosa, you really got some information just a few minutes ago. And you know what it made me? It made me kind of segue into the topic that I just open up that's going to kick off the beautiful week that we have ahead of us. Okay. You actually are living and you're giving us more than the eye can see, which brings me to your amazing event, More Than the Eyes Can See, which it has nothing to do with that, but you have done some amazing things and you constantly are raising the bar. You're encouraging and motivating us. I've heard you say what you said several times. So you're right. I had to learn that lesson myself where people even ask me as Swiftie, like, y'all always going somewhere. Y'all always doing, how do y'all, I'm like, I'm a coupon and Groupon and buy one, get one free and type of person. And I look, as you said, there's peak times. Sometimes, you don't want to follow the buffalo. So if hypothetically it's spring break, well, yeah, they're going to raise the prices because they know you're coming. Snowbirds, right?
Exactly.
I'll go after you leave because now the prices go back down because the snowbirds went back to the snow.
And use your other perks, AAA, AARP. Some people are teachers, they're government rates. Like there's so many different things. You can go through your credit union. I find so many different deals. I love the best quality for the least expensive price. I don't like cheap because cheap is a poor quality.
That's right.
I am not cheap. I am frugal. Frugal is when you get the best quality or the best price.
That's a good word. Mm-hmm. Now let's jump into More Than the Eyes Can See. Let's talk about this event that's coming this Saturday. First of all, let me say this. This is a shameless plug, y'all, but it is my show, so I think I could do this. I'm super stoked for so many reasons, but one is because I'm CrystalP's chosen stage manager.
Yeah.
And I have to say thank you, Crystal. This is going to be, I believe, my third year or fourth. Yeah, I think it's my third year.
I wouldn't be able to do it without you. You are by far one of the best behind the headset. You know how to run a show. You take copious notes and you just know what you're doing. And so I appreciate that. And then it's the spirit. I tell people there's a lot of talented people out here, people that can sing, people that can play, people that can stage manage, people that can do that. But it goes beyond that. You got to be somebody that somebody can work with and have a spirit that is agreeable, or a spirit that can tell you, hey, Crystal, I don't think you should do that. And you know how to receive it. So I know when I work with you, I'm not going to have any issues because you're not going to let me fail and I'm not going to let you fail. You know, you'll keep me accountable because you're like, hey, when we rehearsing, I need this, that. And I just love that about you. So I know you as my stage manager, I am in good hands. You are the all state of stage managers.
Thank you, Queen. Thank you so much. Oh my God. And I didn't tell Crystal to say that, y'all. I didn't even tell her to say that.
No, that is straight from me. And people need to get on this show and see it more than the eyes can see. Your vision is not always somebody else's vision. And what I do at this show is more than what people see with their naked eye. Some people know me as the comedian. That's all they know and see of me is the comedian. Some people know me as the baker. A lot of people, if you knew me back in the late 80s, early 90s, you knew me as the hairdresser. I was doing hair at Michigan State, did hair shows. A lot of people didn't know that side of me. If you knew me in the late 80s, you might know me as the seamstress. I used to sew. I made my homecoming dress. I made a prom dress for one of my cousins. A lot of people, I design even to this day, some of the outfits that I wear. I don't sew anymore, but I do design a lot of stuff that I wear. I design my wedding dress. I design my reception dress. So I still do some of the drawings and stuff for some of the clothes I wear. When I opened for Maze and Shaka Khan, that outfit was designed by me. So I still do a little bit here and there, but people don't know that side of me. People sometimes only know me in one facet, and my More Than the Eyes Can See show brings many facets of CrystalP to one stage, but not just for entertainment purposes, but to give back as well. There's always a purpose and a cause when I do this show. This year's show is giving back to Lupus Detroit. A lot of people don't know that I even have a lupus. People say, you got lupus. You know, they're like shocked and they do a double and even triple take. But I was diagnosed back in December of 2015. So this show is giving back to lupus, and it's always a professional show. I give people music, I give people comedy, instruments, songs, professional musicians. And when I tell you professional musicians, people in my show have played with Charlie Wilson, Anita Baker, and they've done work with many of the big names. I've opened up for a lot of people: Shaka Khan, May, Stephanie Mills, the OJs, the Whispers, Kirk Whalum, Incognito, Mesa, Marvin Sapp, CeCe Winans. Like, I've opened for tons of people. So everybody on the show has a resume. So it is definitely something to see. And it's affordable.
It is. The tickets are only $35. Now, when I was bringing you on today, I said that I thought you were all sold out of VIP tickets.
Not nary VIP ticket exists. If you get one, somebody bootlegged it because they have been so. I actually put the tickets on sale in October. So you're talking about 5 months of these tickets being out. And that's one of the detriments in the Detroit market. We always wait to the last minute. And that's why a lot of promoters don't like to bring certain shows here, because they don't know if they're going to make their money. It's a very fickle market here for certain individuals. And it makes it hard for B, C, D, and I might be a Z or Y artist. So, you know, it makes it hard because you'll get a lot of walk-ups that people are not expecting. But it's going to be a phenomenal show. I'm very excited about it. I'm looking forward to see people's opinion on what we bring this year. This will be our third one.
I know, and I'm excited to be a witness. You bring a level of excellence. It's
Thank
just
you.
like, oh, you're welcome. When you work with people like yourself, it makes it hard for someone like me because I have a resume myself,
Mm-hmm.
and so it makes it hard for me because everybody gets inspired. Well, I'm gonna say everybody. I know it's not the
Mm-hmm.
proper way to address it. Some people get
Mm-hmm.
inspired,
Inspired.
and
Mm-hmm.
they wish to mimic what they saw.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to tell people that you don't want to try to duplicate something because you can't. There's always going to be an original copy of something, an original. And no
Mm-hmm.
matter how many times you redo it, you'll never have what the original had. Never.
Right.
And so sometimes you lose something, you drop the ball, you're missing something. And although some people could look at it and say, well, you're paying homage, that's amazing. Or people could say, okay, well, you fumbled that. And so
Mm-hmm.
when people reach out and they want me to do something for them, and if there's something that reminds me of what you've done, just like I do the same thing when I do production work for stage plays, I compare them to a TJ Hempfield production. I compared them to a
Mm-hmm.
Vanessa Lynn production, a Rosa Chanel,
Mm-hmm.
a Kyra. You know, it's different,
Mm-hmm.
but anything beneath those type of people and what I'm used to, I look at it like, no, this ain't right.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and you can't chase the dollar. You can't chase the dollar. You know, and things will come. Your gift will make room for you. I tell people that all the time. Your gift will make room for you. And when it does, you got to make sure that the room that you're in is the right room because sometimes we get confused and misdirected.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely.
So,
Definitely. Definitely. And everything ain't for everybody.
mm-hmm,
Um, like you said, sometimes when you're accustomed to certain types of production, when they set the bar high,
mm-hmm,
it's like, no, I can't do that. This is what I'm accustomed to. And I always try to ensure not only that my people are paid, uh,
mm-hmm.
if I never make a dollar on the show, those people that are contracted are paid
Yeah.
what they're supposed to get, whether I sell a ticket or not. Because as a performer, I know what it's like to deal with a shady promoter and people not come through with the money and that kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing. And I would never want to build that type of relationship because your word is your bond. But
Yes.
I always not only take care of people financially, I do little things. I try to make sure, the green room is set and people have something and people laugh at me because when you come to rehearsals, what kind of water do I have? I have alkaline water. I
Yes,
do
you
not
do.
serve my my vocalists tap water. I don't serve them toilet water, spring water. They get alkaline. I give people the best. I just
Yeah.
try to always give people what I would give myself.
Yeah.
And so I just try to do things that excellent. I got a couple of surprises for everybody, and hopefully they'll appreciate it because I'm grateful when people want to do my show and want to work with me. It's a blessing.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot to do a production like this. People don't
Mm-hmm.
understand all of the work that goes on behind the scenes. They see, of course, when they come to the show, you're on the stage, you're singing, you're doing comedy, you're playing music or whatever it is you're doing, and people are clapping, but they don't see everything that it takes to put that show together leading up to it. The money, it's really a huge financial undertaking. When you
Mm-hmm.
see, and I don't care where it is, whether it's at Charles H. Wright, whether it's at Northwest Activity Center, or if it's in your backyard, it takes time and money to put things together. You gather in a band, you gather in vocalists. Do you have enough chairs? Did you print the tickets? Do you have flyers? Do you have advertising? Are you doing interviews? Okay. There is so much people don't see. Selling the
Yeah.
tickets, trying to push and get people to purchase tickets, and groups. And every show that I do where I perform, I take flyers, I take tickets, in hopes to building that audience.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it takes a lot.
It does. And I salute you because they're not ready for this show this Saturday. This show this Saturday is about to be totally amazing. And this week, we, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you're going to have the opportunity to have Crystal come on again tomorrow. She'll be here every day this week. We'll do a live tap in Tuesday tomorrow night. She got a special guest. I'm not going to tell you what she's bringing, but it's going to be a special guest, one that you don't want to miss. But you'll get the opportunity to meet the Diamonds. And let's talk about that. How did you come to naming your background singers, your musicians? Like, how?
Now, TT said background because y'all will never hear me call my vocalists background. Because, and the reason why I don't call them background singers because they have been in the foreground. Each one of them they've done their own projects, and they probably don't tell nobody. They sing better than I do. So I call them, my vocal support. And but I came to name them the Diamonds for a couple reasons. Okay. One is I am born in the month of April, so shouts out especially to the Tauruses, but Aries is also covered in the month of April. Yes. And our birthstone is diamond. And it's my favorite gem. Diamond's our girl's best friend, and they're CrystalP's best friend too. Yes. So me being a comedian, I always like to do and say things a little bit differently. And I was like, oh, I love it. It's the four of us, the three vocalists and me. 4 makes up a diamond. Cut, carat, clarity, and color. And we encompass all of those things. So that's how I came to name them the Diamonds. And then it was only fitting to name the band the Diamond Mine Band. You go in the mine and you get great diamonds. And so everybody on the stage is a gem to me. And so I have a special guest this year, a special guest vocalist. And since he's a male, I call him Onyx. Because it's another pretty.
Ooh, come on now, Crystal, with the creativity.
Yeah, so y'all know I do. Like, even my VIP was not listed as VIP, as people come to know it. It was actually VI CrystalP. And those were the tickets. I'm always doing something crazy. Even when I had my birthday party last year, in the one section, because it was the cowboy theme.
Yeah, I hate I missed that, but Swifty had a great time.
I had me a hold down, and I called it the half century hold down, and half century meaning 50, and ho I spell HEAUX, and half century hold down. But in my VIP, we called it VI Yippee, as in cowboy, yippee, yay. So it's always something different and in the mix when, you're involved with me.
I see. I'm like, whoa, it's a lot, but it's always intriguing. I know somebody recently had asked me, oh, I was trying to get a VIP ticket, and what all do you get? I said, oh my God. I was like, well, at that time I said, Crystal is still putting together, but it's her VIP stuff is always memorable. I said, it's not one of it's nothing worse than you go somewhere and somebody give you a dollar store bottle of water. And they take off the label and put their little sticker label on it. And not even all the way around the bottle. Sometimes it just be one of them, you print this off in your office.
It barely hugs it.
It barely hugs it, yeah. And then you might get a candy bar, same thing, same way.
And some dinner mints. Or
maybe some dinner mints or things that they got in a plethora from some other place that gave it away to them as a little complimentary. So I'm like, that's real shady and shiesty when people do that. I'd rather you not give me anything to give me hand-me-downs since never was yours in the first place.
Right, but, exactly.
But you take the time and you make the whole experience a true experience from the beginning to the end. And so let's just dive in. So
I definitely try. I know that very first show, I actually did the food myself for the VIPs. I cooked everything to make sure they had a good full host. I mean, they were eating good. String beans with smoked turkey and chicken. They had a full dinner reception before the show. Desserts made by me because everybody knows I'm a baker. So
yes.
It was like I said, I try to give people, make them feel special, and wanted. But this year, this is the most VIPs we've ever had at any of the previous shows.
Wow.
It is just, prices have changed because of the pandemic and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I really probably should have charged more, but I really wanted to keep it affordable, and that sort of thing. But for what they're getting, it's
worth
more
it.
than the eyes can see.
It's definitely worth it. It's at a wonderful location. Let's talk about your venue. Why did you choose the venue you chose?
I originally chose another venue, and I'm not going to mention the name. I signed a contract, and I thought, and my thoughts are not God's thoughts, clearly. I thought this is where I should have it, and this, that, and the third. Signed the contract, put the deposit down. I get a call 2 weeks later. We can't do that day. And basically probably what happened, they probably gave the venue away to a larger name. I mean, it's business. But I went searching, and because so many people are trying to make up from the pandemic and get their shows back on the books, it was not a lot available. And then it hit me. I'm like, well, I used to do comedy shows at Silver Gardens. And the one thing about Silver Gardens is when you're in the big ballroom on stage, it has phenomenal acoustics, and there isn't a bad seat in the house. So even general admission, they get phenomenal seats. It can seat a lot of people theater style, and it's centrally located. So, those coming from the east side can hit 696, so they can hit 94 to the lodge. People coming from Telegraph, people coming from 275. Everything is right there. You can pretty much get to that venue within 40 minutes of wherever you're coming in the Detroit metro area. Even if you're coming from Ypsilanti, you should be able to hit it in 45 minutes. If you're coming from Flint, get there still in an hour. So it's really, really close to everything and everybody. I have people coming from out of town, so there's hotels in the area that are 5-10 minutes away from the venue. So it's just it just works.
Okay.
And I think people are going to be impressed this year. Like I said, I'm excited. I'm nervous. But I'm excited. I still get nervous. I've been doing comedy. It'll be 19 years this year. I still am shaking in my boots before I hit the stage. And people often say, well, you never look nervous. Well, of course, I'm not going to puke and that. But on the inside, my whole body is trembling for what's to come. So I definitely am looking forward to it.
It's about to be amazing. I'm excited about it. So let's talk about putting this together every year. I know that during the pandemic, it wasn't possible to do things exactly the way people wanted to do them. Where do you see yourself going with this? Is this something you want to continue to do every year? Is this something you plan to do outside of your native state, Michigan, or is it just something that's near and dear that you're going to keep to yourself here in the city?
You know what? Every year I say, okay, I'm not going to do this anymore. And then my musical director, like, hey, you haven't done this. You got to bring, because it was actually, he has been on me about doing this show for like the last year or so.
Okay.
And it had been on my mind because I kind of missed it. It's fun to do it. I love to entertain people. I mean, even if I'm out there doing jump rope, it's just fun to give some people something different.
Yeah.
My mind doesn't always think like everybody else's, so I'm always constantly doing something that's just kind of off the mark, so to speak, that make people like, wow, I never thought of doing that.
Right.
And so I'm running out of ideas. Like, what new can I do? I'm thinking about next year. Like, what else can I do that's different? that I haven't already done or introduced, because I'm always introducing new surprises, and this year is no different. I will say this show, my rehearsal time, I rehearse incessantly in hopes of perfection. And I know, everything can't be perfect, but that's how I rehearse. Some days I've rehearsed 5 hours by myself, just on going through the show, going through the motions, going through, okay, what will be said, what won't be said. Okay, what about this instrument? What about this song? And I'll sing by myself. I'll just, like play a karaoke track to test the voice and making sure the notes are right and arrangements and all that stuff. So I'll just, and sometimes I don't even notice that much time has gone past. My husband, he DJs on the side. And so on Saturday nights, he DJs from 10 till 2 in the morning. And he leaves about 9:15. When he left yesterday, or the other day, I'm confusing my day because today is Monday. So 2 days ago, when he left to get set up for his, DJ gig, I started rehearsing. He got home at 2:26. I was still up there rehearsing.
Wow. All
by myself, just going through the show, or something comes to my head and I'm like, okay, let me try this. Did you go over that? Oh, I think I like this. So I'm constantly trying to give people the very, very best and exceed their expectations. People that have seen the show, they have a certain expectation. People who have never seen the show really don't know what to expect, because people don't know if it's a play, a concert, a comedy show, and I give it everything.
It's Saturday night. This coming Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to have an amazing time. Nothing short of it. I predict we're gonna have some good weather. So I know some of y'all want to bring out your furs and stuff. I think you'll still be able to do that. But I wouldn't recommend y'all coming out there with your move something on with no coat and all that. Don't do all that.
We can go from a swimsuit to a snowsuit in 5 minutes in Michigan. I don't even depend on because the weather come out 10 days before. Literally, I have to be within 24 hours to know, because you just don't know. Like, you might have a mink coat sewn onto a windbreaker, and then you reverse it inside out, because you don't know what the weather is going to be. I just say, when you get up on the 25th, dress accordingly. Have your tickets in advance if you can, so you don't have to deal with the wait and the line. You can just walk on through with your little ticket and go grab your seat, unless you're in one of those sections that's reserved or part of the group. We have a ton of groups that'll be there. Deltas.
Shout out to the Deltas.
Yeah, they got some AKs, got some stuff. Some of the churches, Living Faith Church, Corinthian Baptist Church. There's a lot of groups of people from Chrysler, just various groups. One of my older sister that passed away in 21, one of her friends contacted me. She said, I want to just support. She bought up group seats. And so a crew of my sister's friends will be in a section. So there'll be some, groups up in there supporting. And like I said, I got people coming in from out of town, Texas, some people from Lansing. I got word somebody's coming in from Kentucky. Wow. I don't want to put a couple people. I know one of the mayors, I'm not going to say which city, but he did contact me and got tickets. And so it's going to be a really great night.
Now let me, before we shut out this morning, tomorrow you're going to do the Tap In Tuesday live. You're bringing a special friend. I won't tell them exactly who it is, but it's somebody that's going to be at the show on Saturday, but definitely. And then tomorrow morning, we're going to have your Onyx in the building with you tomorrow morning as you guys take over tomorrow. So I won't tell you, ladies and gentlemen, who her onyx is just yet this morning, but you definitely pay attention to the promotional flyers this evening that'll be released. It'll tell you who it's going to be. So you could get up, grab your cup of coffee, your cup of tea, or some drinking a mimosa, and tune in to the top of the morning show with your girl TT from the D, CrystalP for the CrystalP takeover, and her very special guest. We know him right now as the Onyx of the group, but you'll learn more about it tomorrow morning. Crystal, I want to say thank you for this awesome interview this morning. Thank you for blessing our show. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for your positivity. Thank you for just having a heart to use the skills that God gave you to bless us, because we're grateful. In a world in which we live, in such a time in which we do, we need laughter, we need peace, and we need love, and we thank for it.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you having me on all this week. I'm looking forward to it, because
I am too.
Like you said, we can't even get it all. We still haven't even scratched the surface on a lot of things as it relates to the show and previous shows. But I thank you all. I hope you all will follow me on social media too.
Please tell them how they can follow you.
So I got my new website. Thank you, nephew, for my new website. It is revamped and redone. Go to it. Let me know how you like it. www.CrystalPisCrazy.com. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at CrystalP is Crazy. I'm on Facebook, comedian CrystalP, and then my private pages. If you go to facebook.com/CrystalP is Crazy. So all you gotta do is think CrystalP is Crazy. Go to the website. Let me know how you like it.
Absolutely. And then if people still want to try to get a ticket, although VIP is all sold out, how can they purchase a ticket?
Oh, you can go to eventbrite.com, search for More Than the Eyes Can See. You can call 248-820-5449. You can go to AYV and Fresher Brand Clothing Store, located, I believe the address is 208 West 11 Mile Road in Royal Oak. It's right there behind the Royal Oak Post Office, the main post office. Or you can go to God's World on 7 Mile in Detroit, right there off of Schaefer. And we might have tickets left at the door if there's anything left. So you have 4 or 5 different avenues of getting tickets, but get them. You can order, people want to pay, they don't want to do Eventbrite, and you have Cash App and Zelle. You can get those online by calling 248-820-5449 for payment information through Zelle and Cash App.
And one last question. For those that may want to be a person that will show up to the Silver Garden Event Center right there in Southfield. Actually, I'm going to share, I had it at my fingertips. I want to share the address for those that may not know how to get there or where to go. It is 24350 Southfield Road in Southfield, Michigan, 48025. Now, 48075. I'm sorry, I'm talking about my old.
You giving out your old, I said she giving out Beverly Hills. No, we're not gonna be in Beverly Hills and Franklin. We in Southfield. 48075.
Yes, 48075. Now, for those that may want to pop up at the event to be able to buy a ticket at the door, because we don't know what that's going to look like, what is the earliest time a person could come that somebody will be available at that door to sell a ticket?
The doors open at 6:00 p.m. and showtime is at 7, and we do start on time.
Oh, yes, we do. Oh, period. Yes, we do. Yes,
we go up and we will start on time. So if you're late, you might miss something. That's the thing. If you're late, you're going to miss something. I don't know what it is that you're going to miss, but you will miss it.
Absolutely. Because, everything is going to be in decent order. Trust me. But it's been a pleasure. I'm looking forward to tomorrow morning and tomorrow evening.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. I'll see you soon. Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you.
Right. Love you.
Love you too.